Hi, this is Lou Martin, and I'm a channel for the Pleiadians, and I'm a teacher and a spiritual counselor about consciousness and spirituality and mysticism and everything that goes along with all of that. So this is my video for April 23rd, and I've got new software, so this should go without a hitch. I recorded a video on Friday and had 350 hits and about a dozen very friendly comments, and had 2 sessions come from that, actually, so I'm very grateful, gratified at the response. So I want to keep it going here. I've been wanting to make videos as a way to reach out to people interested in channeling and healing and awakening for the better part of the last year. So I'm delighted to have finally arrived, I think, at this time. And so we're just today, I guess, today and tomorrow, coming out of the most perfected part of the April Grand Cross of Jupiter, Mars, Uranus, and Pluto, and my colleagues out there in the ethers, who I listen to and take seriously and take to heart, is a better way to put it, are very much talking about new projects, new energies, being bold, etc. I actually did a channeling yesterday, but I erased the video after the first version didn't work out. So anyway, I've made some improvements here, and things should be flawless from here on in. Just checking the fire in April. And I've got my sexy new eye gear on from Specsavers, so these are my readers. What I'd like to share here is that we're all going through enormous changes. I've had wonderful teachers in my life, and I'm happy to share any resource with you that feels helpful to you, and I'm happy to answer any question or respond to any comment if that's of any use to you at all. My website's the easiest way to find me is through Facebook, either through my own name, Lou Martin, or through Awakening Infinite You. It's a tongue twister of a title, but basically you can just Google me at Lightheart 2012, and you'll find SoundCloud and a blog and meditation videos on YouTube. All of that is easy to find. So what my guides channeled yesterday, I'll sort of pick up as the theme today, which is spiritual leadership, and that the world is moving from one vibration into a new vibration, and we're all feeling that. Been some amazingly great information that I've come across in the last 24 hours, but it's probably things that you might be finding as well. I look to the astrologers, I look to channelers, I look to people that work energetically and intuitively, because of course none of this is being discussed anywhere but in the alternative world and on the fringes of things. I listened to and talked about with another friend today, David Icke, who I've met and have seen his lecture in Los Angeles and read many of his books, and respect enormously, and looking on his new TV station, The People's Voice, from time to time. So I guess I'm just thinking out loud here, but what I'd like to do with these resources that I have available to me is create a bit of an ongoing journal about my own process, and sharing that with you, and then inviting my guides to channel about whatever they want to. The feedback, the other thing I want to say is that there's a tremendous sense of community that's possible through the internet, and through YouTube and Facebook and Google Hangouts and other resources. I really want to do classes via video online with people, including live Q&A, and then keep that on YouTube. So all of that seems to be getting closer and closer. But let me just give you a little introduction here about how I got into living this way and working this way, without going into ancient history. Basically, there's the phrase indigos, there's the phrase light workers, there's star seeds, and all these kinds of phrases. I kind of think I'm part of all of that in some form or fashion. I grew up all over the U.S. I was born in Chicago, and I lived in a dozen different locations between my birth and graduating high school. My father passed away my senior year of high school, and that made my life even more unpredictable, or that was my experience of it. And in my 20s, I read a lot. I worked in bookstores for about a decade after I left. I was in 4 different schools in 3 years. That was my college career. I couldn't find anything that I was really willing to settle on, theater or philosophy, things like this. So I did my own reading, and after about a decade of doing my own reading and taking LSD and smoking weed and learning to play the guitar and exciting things like that, I started meditating again. I'd been introduced to meditation when I was a teenager. I met this teacher, Krishnamurti, and got invited to meditate with him and a group of students in Ojai, California, which was, looking back on it, a real bit of grace. And so I hadn't meditated in my 20s, but I got back into it in my late 20s during my Saturn return, and I had in short order, a spontaneous Kundalini experience in meditation. And you may have one of those, you may have had one of those, you may know about that, you may not know about it. Anyway, for me, it was really it was a defining experience in my life, where it really opened me up to be a lot more connected to spirit and to the mystical, and to seeing the world in a completely different way. And also, Grace, right after I had that experience, I got introduced to my teacher Lazarus, and another spirit guide named Dr. Peebles, and I worked with Lazarus and Dr. Peebles for about 5 years, very intensely, and loved everything they taught me, and wanted more and more and more. And then in 1992, I got activated to channel this energy that I channel here, this group of Pleiadians. And I'd seen Barbara Marciniak at some workshops, and I was impressed with her channeling. And then I studied with a teacher and got opened up to this. So for the next 20 years, I've been working with this energy. And fast forwarded, I've been living in Ireland for the last 7 years, and in West Cork for the last 6 years. And so all of that was cruising along pretty well. And Abraham says, you got to tell a new story to have a new experience. But I'm going to tell the old story one last time. 2013 was an absolute ass kicker of a year for me. And I would say that, if anything, 2014 was even more intense for good reasons, but those were very challenging times. I really feel like I'm just only over the last month, the last few weeks, kind of coming out of the tailspin of all of that, and I've learned a lot about healing myself and connecting to spirit. So it seems like, in hindsight, all of that was necessary. As my guides would say, whatever has happened was needed, that's why it happened, or was accepted, allowed, as Lazarus would say. But now that I have this great technology and this great resource and this great opportunity, I am raring to go, my friends. So the classes that I used to do driving around the country, I gave up my car last year. So everything is either online or out of my living space here, which is a very lovely spot. So that's the work, that's the focus, and then I do sessions with people, readings, counseling, channeling, it's kind of all a combination of that, online via Skype or in person or over the phone. So if any of that interests you, please do let me know. I'm very grateful to connect with you and work with you in any way that feels inspiring and empowering. That's my story. Thank you. So then to come back to today and the cosmic weather forecast, I've been knowing about all these things, spirit guides and channeling and life after death and the unconditional love of a higher power, God, Goddess, all that is, Source, at the core of our being, at the very essence of who we are, for a long time. I had a UFO experience. Sorry, I'm drifting again. I had a UFO experience when I was 16. Is that right? Yeah, I think so. I think that's right as well. May have been younger. May have been younger than that. We had just moved to Los Angeles, so it might have been 15 or so. And then I had another one in high school, 18 or so. And all these things. And then I spent time actually with the Lakota Sioux at the Star Knowledge Conference in 1995, I think it was, something like this. So and I've worked with Michael Beckwith and Drunvalo Melchizedek and and Ram Dass, some wonderful Deepak Chopra, wonderful, amazing teachers. And I recommend all of them to you. Marianne Williamson, James Twyman, they're all fantastic. So how can I bring all this together? I could just start channeling. That would be a good thing to do. Basically, my whole life has been about spirit, the search for spiritual wisdom. Yeah, call it that. Spiritual liberation. Yeah. Then there's Abraham, who's also played and is playing a huge part of my life. So what the spiritual counseling, what doing readings, what being intuitive or psychic, what channeling, what all that does is it gives me access to a larger field of knowledge than I do have in my normal conscious mind. But the good news is, that of course everything that I've read or studied or heard about, is there for me or my guides to draw on when I work energetically and intuitively. So it's not been a dull journey. It's been a very exciting journey, and I really do believe the best is yet to come. Since this Grand Cross of April has been so powerful in the leading up to it, in my life personally, since I really have had to overcome some of the biggest challenges of my life in the last year. It has really humbled me quite a lot, which is a good thing, and it has really deepened me and forced me to deepen my own personal sense of connection to spirit. And kind of that's the map that I have for the future, for the world itself. What my guides have been saying, that the work that we've all been doing as indigos or starseeds or light workers or mystics or madmen or whatever you want to call the energies that we're all dancing through, now the world is going to start encountering that, and that basically is through the unconscious mind. So let me just say a word or two about that, my understanding of that. I love and have lived Carl Jung's great quote where he says, that which is denied within us has to come at us as fate. And I think Jung was a spiritual genius of the highest order. And that's my truth, that's my experience. So here's the conscious mind, one more time. Here's the heart, in the king's chamber of the pyramid. Here's the eye of the pyramid, the heart, and then the soul and spirit is the foundation stone, is the grounding, is the the place where it all settles, where it's all supported. So we tend to live in our conscious mind in the Western world and in the modern world, and you can talk about the fall of grace in the Bible, or the fall of Atlantis, or the yugas, how, with the precession of the equinox, how we've gone to the furthest point away from the sun, and now we're just beginning our turn back towards the sun being a channel for light and information to come from source into our physical reality, and how the DNA, when we're happy, the DNA stands up like an antenna and it projects light into our auric field and we become enlightened. How when we're sad or frightened, it constricts and we become darkened, and we, our heart closes down. When our heart is closed, we live in the mind. When we're really frightened, we get out of the body. Most people, most of the time in the Western world, are basically in some stage of all of those different levels of consciousness. When you either through surrender or through crisis, you retreat into your heart, and through your own free will and the grace of spirit, your heart opens and you're able to reconnect with your spirit. That's what I feel like I've experienced in my life many times. Then you are able to come back into the conscious mind and remember who you are. My guides talk about activation, this experience, integration, what I will take with me from my oneness experience, and then manifestation, what changes in my life, what changes in the world. One of my favorite teachers is Oren, and they work with, I'm working with their meditation right now, Divine Manifestation, and it's absolutely gorgeous, and their material is brilliant, and I recommend them to you as well. And they're talking there about the soul, which is our connection to spirit, and then the divine self, which is the embodiment, I would say, of our connection to spirit, the full expression of that. And so you could also see that as human beings, we're kind of three levels below the soul and the divine self. We're Joe Sixpack walking around having a human experience. So what I want to say here is that, and then I'll get to the channeling, when you begin to want answers outside of the normal scheme of things, and you begin to search for material like the kind of stuff that I'm talking about with you here today, and you know, find the wealth of information that's there from teachers and teachings and great resources, you know, something within you starts to wake up, and that's the truth. That's your spirit. That's who you really are. So my prayer, you know, now and every day since all of that began, and from here on in, is to be a spark of inspiration to you on your path, and to support you to trust yourself, to listen to, trust, and follow your own truth, your own inner guidance, your own wisdom. And really, the simplest way and the most powerful way to practice that every day is to open the heart, because that's the bridge between the outer world and the divine self. That's the bridge between where we're at and where we want to go. And the thing about, especially for us guys, the thing about opening the heart, my friends, is it requires a lot of humility. And the more you can cultivate that, the softer you can be, the more in your heart you can be, the more in your music and poetry and grace and love and compassion and kindness and care and service you can be, the stronger you actually will become. This is that time on the planet when the old models of masculine and feminine are going to be pitched aside, I believe, and the new deeper understandings of what those energies, how those energies can work for us, is really going to be embraced and celebrated. So you know, for men it tends to be, the blockage tends to be unexpressed grief, and blocked in the heart. And I mean, in my crisis over the last few months, working with Lazarus and some of his meditations, I had explosions of grief that I still had no idea how much stuff I was carrying. Yes, fill in your own word there. And it really, really was amazing for me to realize that. So, and for women, it's anger. Men are allowed to be angry, not sad. Women are allowed to be sad, not angry. And women tend to be blocked in the throat chakra. Unexpressed anger, unexpressed rage, unexpressed needs, unexpressed feelings, love, hopes. You know, so men are going to find their hearts, and women are going to find their voices. And that's the time that we're moving into. And for everyone on the planet who is in any way, shape, or form open and willing to humble ourselves before the truth of unconditional love, magic and miracles are going to step forward and embrace us as their very own. So that's what I believe. That's what I expect. Let's see what my friends have to say about it all. Thank you for listening. Peace and blessings. Close your eyes. Take a nice deep breath, dear friends. Yeah. All right, yeah, here we go. All right, well, we want to say here, first of all, that yeah, there's been a lot of healing, a lot of growing, and a lot of surrendering, yeah, happening in the channel here. Yeah, and we want to just take a moment and really take a moment and acknowledge this moment, that the opportunity, yeah, to come out from behind the wall here and be back in the world, yeah, it has been hard-earned and yeah, is well deserved. Yeah, so we love him and we thank him for his work and his commitment. We'll just take a breath into that. Yeah. So, dear ones, here's the message for the moment. Yeah. This beautiful stargate of the April Grand Cross is a catalytic and a powerful, yeah, vortex of energy And though all astrological alignments are only perfect for a short time, it's like a game of chess. Each time a player is moved, the whole board is affected. And dear friends, it's the same for you in your awakening. The heart knows what the mind struggles to believe is one of our favorite quotes here. But dear ones, your hearts are very open, because energetically here we put the call out to you of open hearts and open minds. That's part of what the vibration of our energy here, the Pleiadians, represents to you who are interested in these messages and these ideas. Dear ones, we're not going to step out from behind a craft here. We're a part of the channel's consciousness, and we work through his energy vibrationally, and we're delighted to do so, and he's happy to have us. So the agreement here is to provide a vibration and an energy and a consciousness and a set of teachings that create the core of healing and awakening. Awakening is our theme, and healing is our means to that end. So dear ones, healing what? Well, healing the illusions of separation, healing, as was said here, old ideas about what's appropriate and what's possible and what's available for you. A lot of freedom in this journey of healing and awakening. And dear ones, a lot of freedom that we're going to offer you to give to yourselves. In other words, we're not holding anything back from you. None of your guides are. We're offering something to you. We're responding right here and right now to the song of your hearts, if you like. That's asking for clarity and support and information and inspiration and all of that. We're happy to bring that to your experience here, absolutely. And dear friends, more than that, we want really to help you to raise your own vibration. In the process, let's take a deep breath into that. Dear ones, in the process of listening, trusting, and following your own inner guidance, you're making a journey into your heart, and you're truly making a journey to the doorway of your relationship to Spirit. So what we want to really say here at this time is that how you define Spirit and spirituality, the vocabulary, the ideas, the assumptions, the experiences, the hopes and dreams and desires, all of that is swirling and twirling in the vibration of human consciousness. The channels outlined several stages of human civilization, and here you are at the birth and the co-creation, dear ones, of a new one that you are calling forward. So we want for you to understand, perhaps more than anything, that beyond time and space, your spirit, your soul, your higher self or divine self, is intimately connected with this journey here and now, and infinitely interested in your thoughts and your feelings and your choices and decisions. Dear friends, to say that this is the last act of a long opera, or the third act of a great play, would be putting it mildly. What it is more than anything is the opportunity, as we say here, for greater freedom. So your world, in its search for Spirit, in its search for love, dear friends, in its search for God, if you like, is looking for this freedom. You're looking for this freedom. You're helping to create it, to redefine and thus re-experience what's possible. We spoke last time about how consciousness is created excuse us, through the structure of your own free will, based on your beliefs. And so at every opportunity, dear friends, we're going to push that envelope with your permission. We're going to ask you to think it again, or to look at it from our point of view, or to see it through a new set of eyes, or to give up your attachment to how it has to be because it has been that way. Dear ones, there's a lot of ways to help you, to support you. Indeed, you don't need rescuing, you need encouragement, is really what it comes down to, and examples and inspiration, reminders, truly, that you of course have all the power that you've ever sought to experience. But you need to believe that. It's one thing for us to say it. We've said it to the channel. He's still in the process of learning that that's so. It's something else for you to believe it. But we want to say here again, to draw on his own example, that he's still here. He's still free. He's still getting by. He's everything that's happened here, we told him it was going to happen. He trusts us. He believes us. He believes the truth as he perceives it in himself and in us. And so it's wonderful, dear friends, when you do the same, when you trust yourself, when you trust your truth, when you believe in the truth, when you let it guide you in the direction of what your heart desires, and when you let it manifest, demonstrate, embody, express the experience that you're wanting and asking for, dear ones. So in this time we'd say plant your seeds for the next chapter of your story here. if it's the next season, fine. If it's the next year, fine. If it's the next 10 years, fine. There's no limit to how you play the game, of create your own reality. That's the good news. But again, you might need a little encouraging or a bit of reminding, so we want to give that to you. Dear ones, in your heart, and in your heart of hearts, even more to the point, there is, the heart is the first organ that's created here in the physical body. And of course, none of that is an accident. It's all by grand design. Dear ones, you are, the bridge, is the best word we can find here at the moment, between what has been and what is yet to be, what is destined to be. And you have guides, of course you do. You have a higher self, absolutely. You have guardian angels, You have the spirits of those that have passed before. You have God, Goddess, all that is. You have all the consciousness and all the resources you could ever hope to handle, dear friends. The dance here, is right here and now, and for this next year, is letting all that be more real than you've ever allowed yourself to let that be, to be more intimate with your spirit, to be more intimate with your loving and kind and caring and conscious and generous relation with your spirit. And dear friends, as we say, to find out how good you can stand it, the price of your freedom is a happy journey on the way to getting there, And so when you're able, dear friends, to love and be loved for who you are, to love yourself and accept yourself and believe in yourself, then you can allow yourself to care about how you feel. Then you can allow yourself to give to yourself, at least imaginally and intentionally and energetically, emotionally, what you want before you experience it in the world. Your inner being a mirror of the outer. And then, dear friends, things are going to get very exciting. So we just ask you to dream the biggest dream you can imagine for yourself and your world. We ask you to love yourself without condition. We spoke previously here about the importance of healing through forgiveness and compassion. That remains true. But dear friends, for tonight we just want it to be very quiet and very peaceful where you're at here, yeah, whenever you're listening to this, yeah, the energies of this moment, yeah. We invite you to close your eyes and take a deep breath. And dear ones, to imagine a beautiful place in your imagination, a beautiful place in nature. We want you to connect with Mother Earth. We want you to really take to heart that Mother Earth is in the beating of your heart. Mother Earth is in the breathing of your breath. That Mother Earth is the clay and the life force and the prana, yeah, that has called you into this current reality in your current form, yeah. That there is a deep and profound, even eternal spiritual connection between yourself and the earth. We want you to begin to let that in. So you might see a beautiful tree by a stream or a brook. You might see an image of yourself at the beach at your favorite spot. Yeah, you might see yourself wherever you want to be. Go ahead and be there, and just allow yourself to take a breath into that place on Mother Earth, that place in nature. Take a deep breath. And dear ones, we're just going to invite you to say hello to Mother Earth right here and right now. Perhaps it's caught your attention, perhaps it's not, that this moment in your life is profoundly powerful and deeply sacred. And perhaps you are beginning to remember and believe and indeed even understand and perhaps almost know, yeah, that you are a spiritual being, that your life is a part of all that is, that whether the wind is on your face or the sun is at your back, yeah, you live in a beautiful environment, yeah, even with the cold and the rain and the snow and the wind, dear friends. You live in a beautiful environment that is always responding to your call for balance, yeah. Because, dear friends, that's what you come into this world seeking, is permission within your own spirit to find and to honor balance, yeah? To find and honor balance between the man and the woman, between humanity and the earth, between yourself and your neighbor, between yourself and your family, yeah? The earth is the master teacher of balance, yeah? And so wherever you're at, she greets you with her love and her gratitude and her joy, yeah, for your taking time out of your busy life, yeah, and slowing your busy mind down so that you can hear her heart, yeah, the heartbeat of the earth, that you can allow yourself in the beating of your own heart to hear and feel your heart of hearts, that which is your soul and spirit, and align your heart of hearts, and the heartbeat of Mother Earth as one heart, beating in beautiful harmony. The one beat, the second beat, the third beat. A heart beating in 3 rhythms that are even now coming into union. Take a deep breath. This is the open doorway for the depth of yourself and the grace of the Divine Mother as this earth to come together and build a new world, a new vision, a new dream. You won't do it all here and now. No. This is a beginning. This is an invitation. But from time to time, you'll take the 3 heartbeats and align them as one. And if you choose to, you can bring down 7 stars that spiral down through time and space. Touch the crown of your head. Take a deep breath. and begin to remember what is possible, what is probable, and what is inevitable for your world, in spirit, in love, in peace. Dear friends, we love you so. Peace and blessings. Namaste. Thank you.